Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Strategic Command World War II, War in the Pacific. This is episode number 6 of our Let's Play series, playing as the Allies. This is a new turn-based World War II grand strategy, not really grand strategy, grand war game, I guess. Kind of in like the Panzer General vein, but on a grand strategy map rather than tactical battles. And we are in late 1942, so we've mostly been on the defensive so far as the Allies. We are preparing to go on the counteroffensive. In fact, at the end of the last episode, we made our first offensive landing in the Pacific. We landed on Tarawa with a Army Corps. They've been kind of pinned there. They haven't been able to get the enemy down to zero, basically, to destroy them. And so it's been a little bit of back and forth with our own forces beginning to suffer attrition due to lack of owning a port where we can effectively supply these guys. So they've been slowly wasting away, but the Japanese have also been on the verge of being overrun. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Meanwhile, the war in China is also going interestingly. The Japanese have begun to grow stronger. They are investing tons of resources into the Chinese theater, and yet we have been able to hold them in place, and we have a couple of places, particularly in the south, where we may be able to actually gain an advantage and see if we can overcome them. As I said, this is 1942, so we've begun to see some technology advances as well. We're working on trying to get to level 2 heavy bombers. We're already at level 2 advanced fighters, working toward level 3. We have upgraded our infantry weapons, and this is all for the US. We've invested heavily into industrial and production technology. We've started to build some heavy bombers that we hope to have before too long, and that's kind of where we sit right now. The Japanese fleet has not been engaged, so we have not yet seen any kind of major naval battle, major naval engagement. And the situation in Burma is tense. The Japanese have been throwing a vast majority of their resources into both China and also the sort of the Indo-Chinese front. And so we'll see if we're able to hold in place. We start to see in this episode a lot more supply headquarters show up, which could pose a problem for us, but at least the units advancing along the coast, we begin to bring our, the Royal Navy into play and bombard them, which impacts their morale and their supply. But we're just getting started here, so yeah, let's go. We'll see what happens here. We'll do one more turn. Attrition losses, how badly? Only one? You'd think the enemy, their supplies said 0-2, right? Wouldn't they get to... Okay. British are getting a bunch of stuff. Research now. We should be getting our heavy bombers soon, too, shouldn't we? Australia gets heavy bombers? What? We weren't investing in that, were we? Alright, we'll see if they reinforce somehow. I'm curious if we see their fleet show up. Well, there's some ships. It's a cruiser. Not exactly what I was thinking. Okay, destroyer, that's more what I was expecting. Jeez, there's a lot of ships showing up here in New Guinea. Are we gonna, like, see a... Their carriers are going in... Is this gonna be a, like, late Battle of Coral Sea? We've spotted 2 of their fleet carriers here, attacking our garrison unit as it left Buna, and destroying our garrison unit as it left Buna. So that may put Port Moresby in the crosshairs. Interestingly enough. Alright, so they're putting a new army unit into Manchukuo. They're moving one army unit out. It is the winter now in China. You can see snow is on the ground. This one cruiser should be stuck. So I'd be inclined to see if we can sink it with submarines. Japan has so much air power in Asia right now, and I have none, basically. I've got 1 unit. We're definitely inflicting losses on some of our units here. Pretty heavy losses. Our boys are trying to shoot back. We're trying to give a good account of ourselves. All I can say is at the very least we're not dying quickly. Well, with the exception of that garrison unit, I suppose. And in the south of China, it seems like we're pretty much giving about as good as we're getting. We're going to swing these 2 units south near Hubei. Hopefully cut off that armor and maybe we can destroy it. They're moving headquarters units forward in Rangoon now, which should give them a much better chance of logistically being able to push forward. Some of the units are still suffering attrition here in China. Osaka mobilizes its home guard. Why? For what purpose? What have I done that is triggering it? Interesting. Buin has 3 naval units. Alright, give me those anti-aircraft guns in China, or in India, because I badly need them. Hold off on those. Well, I guess I double timed my other subs out of the area, so I don't... I don't know that I can get anybody else on that cruiser that can attack this turn. Effective attack against those Marines. Nice. Badly beat up that Marine unit. Destroyed... Oh, God. I thought we destroyed that corps. Selling supply here now. Alright, this army along the coast is not in good shape due to all the bombardments. We didn't manage to destroy it, but we did beat it up a bit. They have no supply either. Special forces unit behind it, but we'll keep wearing those 15 and 16-inch gun barrels out. Alright, so we are beginning to use our naval task forces to bombard these Japanese troops along the coast in Rangoon. The enemy also has very poor supply right now, and so we probably will be able to defeat them and destroy them. You know, when you get hit by ships as much as these guys are getting hit by, it considerably influences your readiness and your morale. So that's a good story for us. I'm hoping we can overrun these troops there soon. Meanwhile, we've threatened Canton, and I think maybe next turn even we'll be able to take the city, or maybe even... we already moved this turn, so probably not this turn, but we'll be able to maybe even take this city toward the end of this turn, which is a pretty huge achievement for the Chinese to already be going on you know, a counteroffensive that's destroying stuff. We've also now just surrounded a Japanese armored formation in central China, so hopefully we'll be able to cut their supplies off quickly and, you know, defeat them. They do have a medium tank up here further in the north. You can see it's a larger tank, so it does more damage. My biggest fear right now is a breakthrough in the north. They've got so many troops deployed to China right now. I got to imagine they just have been pouring all their money into this theater because the map is so small in the Pacific Island area that we haven't been fighting them a ton out there. There hasn't been a lot of naval battles. There hasn't been a lot of things to dump their money into other than ground forces. And so they've got a lot of headquarters units. They've got a lot of armored units. They've got a lot of air units throughout this section of the map that I think China and to a lesser extent the British Empire are fighting the bulk of the Japanese forces right now, which kind of reflects history. Like, Americans don't tend to think about how many soldiers the Japanese had in China at the time. But anyway, I digress. So hopefully we're able to hold on up there. You know, we have gotten to that level 1 infantry weapons tech, so that should help. But I don't know. You know, they're more spread out in the south. We're having more success there. We've had a little bit of success in Burma, but I don't see the very small force we have there being able to do much more than pick off isolated units here and there. And we've begun the counteroffensive in the Pacific. Hopefully we'll be able to take Tarawa soon and then move closer to Japan to maybe prompt a naval action. We'll see if we can trigger a major naval engagement. Meanwhile, we're trying to take out this Japanese submarine here on the supply routes to Australia. We've at least battered it and influenced, you know, taken out more than half its strength. We've seen Japanese shipping in and around Rabaul. They've started to make a push toward Moresby. And so, you know, this is kind of a lot of things going on in this war. We've got the Americans beginning the counteroffensive in the Central Pacific. We've got the Japanese pushing on Moresby in the South Pacific, and then the Japanese push in China with a counter-Chinese push. So I guess we'll see what happens. Well, knowing the enemy fleet is off toward... I mean, it's a little close for comfort over here, but... they're at least, like, not knocking at the door. I suppose they could flank speed it over to us, but then they can't attack the same turn, so... Be nice if we could do some damage to them. Their morale is what, 1%? All I can do is... I don't know if destroying this portal will do anything for us. But we managed to do it. So the port's now fully destroyed too. This means there's no reason to leave all those ships there. You'd think we'd get, like, it says 10%, which I assume is 10% to do damage to the unit, but maybe not. Alright, I'm gonna deploy one of these lighter destroyers, some of these lighter destroyers to the west of Tarawa, just to kind of act as picket ships if the enemy does try and show up. Alright, so the zero supply port maybe will prevent them from reinforcing. Almost, but not quite. Right, this guy will get a strike, I think, when he shows up. Problem is these islands are too small to do multiple landings on. This is where having a land-based air unit within range would be a godsend. I think they're probably still in Rangoon. Okay. New Chinese units, we get a new cavalry corps. Which might actually be useful to try and... maybe ride east toward Nanning? I don't know. All right. Buying some stuff for the US. China. Come on, everybody. We like it. All right. Let's end that turn and see if we can't finish Tarawa off. We're gonna lose another attrition law, you know, that turn, but I don't know. AA defense level 1 for China, that's good. Production technology 2. Australia gets level 2 fighters. Command and control. My main problem for the Allies at this point is money. I don't have enough money. Sub or destroyer. Okay, we've got some aviation in Japan too. It looks like it was a light carrier near Osaka. They're going to reinforce up to 4 again. Still got a very strong line of troops in northern China. Cruiser we were attacking withdrew. Kind of surprised the Japanese haven't made a move for any of the other bases in New Guinea. Nice, they inflicted 2 casualties on the... Okay, so the enemy moved fleet bombers, or at least maritime bombers, I'm assuming, into Majuro, which makes a lot of sense. They attacked our carriers there. I don't think they did any damage, though. Meanwhile, our anti-aircraft guns here, at least, are in place, hopefully to limit the amount of damage their aviation can do against us. In Burma, maybe, somewhat. Right. Elite corps are attacking, or elite armies are attacking here in central China. They're pretty much all ganging up on 1 or 2 corps or armies where they've got advantages. So it's unlikely that they'll have like a full-blown breakthrough. Wow, they did a lot of damage to that. Those Chindits are getting rocked. Cavalry division, yeah, go ahead and fight us there. Meanwhile, that armored unit did not try to withdraw. They did land in Buna, and now they're attacking Moresby. I wonder if they'll have the supply to take Moresby, though, because I gotta imagine, unless they put a headquarters unit to the rear of there, Buna, they're gonna be in trouble. That, I think, is what I would assume. We're almost to 43, and I feel like no progress has been made in this war. Japan garrison mobilized at Hong Kong. Why? Because we've got troops in the vicinity, maybe? I'm not really sure why they're mobilizing, or what the triggers are. The Quit India movement, they haven't caused any unrest in a while, but they're back. Okay. Hey, we've got a bunch of stuff coming online. Submarine, Essex, Maritime Air Wing. Jesus. I'm never going to make any progress here. I'll be able to destroy this army. Gives me a little national morale bonus. Can these guys damage aviation on the ground? So we've got Marines here who are also out of supply. Trying to get their morale and readiness down to 0, basically, just like the army we just destroyed was. Okay, we inflicted a loss, a casualty. We did take one ourselves. Nice. Can we take Canton, maybe? We're threatening Canton. I guess that's probably why the garrison unit was raised, right? So we did not destroy Canton, but we are threatening it. We may get it next turn. It's kind of wild to think. China on the counteroffensive. What's their national morale now? 109. Alright, so this tank is... I mean, granted, so are my troops down here, but... cut off. Why can these guys not reinforce? They'll have supply next turn, though, so that's good. Our troops, that is. They may move south to attack our troops near Canton here, perhaps. It'd be amazing if we could retake Canton and Hong Kong. I would think that would be a huge morale boost. Alright, we got another sub on their supply lines. No, don't do that. Alright. Why do they not have another strike? I don't know. I don't understand that. These guys do. Man, you really need frickin' land-based air. Like, to take any of these bases. Long-range land-based air. Got maritime bombers here. See if our carriers can go in here and destroy an enemy aviation unit. That'd be fun. Maybe we could move in our own landing force there to take Majuro. Did we destroy it? I don't think there's anything left. We can go take it next turn. Well, they got up at Kwajalein. Nothing? Is Kwajalein really unoccupied? They've got to have something at Roy. I mean, if these are all unoccupied, I'll throw Marines down at Kwajalein, take an easy national morale objective, assuming the enemy fleet doesn't show up this turn. Oh. Well, we've spotted an enemy carrier. I can only assume there are more. The enemy fleet is on the move. Heading toward us. I should have done that recon before. Okay. So they're going to make it to around here. Unless they... I don't think they can make it in range this turn. Our supply... At least not for their surface ships. Okay, let's do this. They kind of know where we are up here. We'll see what they do. Fleet battle brewing. Kind of want to get those troops off those transports ASAP. Alright, so we know there's at least one carrier. I'm assuming it's a bunch. It's probably a whole large fleet right here. New units, Essex. Get your ass over that way. 2 new subs, that would be useful there. And aviation. Also have anti-air. They haven't been doing much air attacks in the north. Maybe a little bit, I guess. You can't deploy these maritime bombers anywhere where it'll count. But thank God for those balloons, right? Alright, we'll put them over Funafuti so our aviation can provide some land-based cover here in for our troops, maybe? Not our troops, but I don't know. We'll see. Alright, let's see what happens. We still have money to spend. Alright, I'm not going to spend money for the rest of these guys. I'd rather save it up and use it next turn when I've got enough to do more with. Meanwhile, our attrition continues as we are gradually ground down. What do I want to do here? What's this? Okay. Yeah. It'll relinquish British rights in China. I'm hoping that doesn't hurt our economy and it's just sort of a... Oh, British national morale falls as a result. Okay. Yes. Strategic bombers in China were never very efficient, but they could be useful for us in this game, I think. Chinese collaborationist governments declare war on us. We got level 3 subs. That should be useful. If I ever get my subs back to port where they can upgrade. Alright, let's see what the enemy does. It looks like we've got a little mini Midway brewing near Tarawa. Our fleet's a little spread out. Although not an entire Midway, because they've still got fleet carriers here south of Rabaul. Multiple fleet carriers south of Rabaul. So maybe that was a screening force for a push on Port Moresby? I'm not sure. Alright, Canton reinforced. Tarawa, of course, reinforced. I'm never going to be able to push them out of Tarawa, and that corps is going to starve to death. Maybe the Marines can do something, but they can only attack from their ships because they can't land them because there's not enough room on the island. Be interesting if the enemy only sent a piecemeal force toward Canton, or toward Tarawa. If they sent like cruisers and a carrier or two and kept the rest in near Moresby, because we could crush that. Whatever it is, the enemy fleet movements, they were thinking a lot this turn. anti-aircraft hopefully protects the bomber, the tanks a little bit, maybe. Bum 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 bum. I'm just hoping it reduces the damage they do. I'm not expecting it to destroy enemy aircraft. Although they are hitting that tank unit pretty effectively there this turn. Okay. Cavalry divisions for me are more about absorbing enemy attacks than they are actually doing anything effective. Alright, the attack on Moresby there by that Marine unit failed to accomplish anything. That Army Corps near Impal just died. Like, they didn't get destroyed, but they took casualties. Interesting. Okay, they're going to shift troops around here in the south, I guess. So a few attacks, but not a lot this turn. I'm guessing this is kind of a reinforcing turn. We're into 1943. Unconditional surrender is demanded. I don't care about that intel, guys. Okay. They pull that fleet back? That's weird. Why would they be... I mean, it looked like they were getting ready for... Oh, these guys can strike. Okay. Thank God. Hell yeah. 0-4. Marines just wiped them out. Tarawa is yours. Is there still no one on Majuro? I'd rather go for Kwajalein, personally. They're really not deploying anything out this way? So we damaged the port, but didn't actually... Okay. Alright, so Majuro falls, Tarawa falls. No sign of any enemy shipping around here. Okay. Alright, well, should get a nice little bit of a boost from taking Tarawa. Maybe we'll get Japan closer to 100% morale. I'm inclined to pull the fleet back. We need to put some land-based air on some of these islands, but we'll supply next turn. But it looks like the marshals are falling to us. So good for that. What about in China? Did we... think we can take Canton? Oh, hell yeah, we can. Okay, so we could even threaten Hong Kong. We've split the Japanese and China in two, theoretically. Okay. Why can I not reinforce those guys fully? I don't understand. These forces in the south of China must also be low on supply. Just destroyed a Chinese army, or a Japanese army south near Nanning. Maybe we can take Nanning too. That'll be a national morale objective. Getting greedy, boys. Okay. Let's see if our naval bombardments can cripple this infantry unit enough for us to attack it effectively. Apparently not, by the looks of it. So 2 attacks on this guy, and he's still held firm, huh? Okay. Wow, our fighters got shot up pretty bad there trying to hit that enemy bomber unit. We did do some damage to the medium bomber unit, mind you, but if they turn all this aviation in Burma against our carrier, we may lose it. Alright. Damage that army a little bit. They're wanting. Pull back. You'd think that tank unit would have been out of supply by now. Alright, we'll have these battleships rush to join the fleet, just in case the enemy does something and surprises us. But Tarawa is ours. We'll need to move this headquarter unit forward to try and also push supplies further out. Maybe at Majoro it'll make more sense. Or probably actually Kwajalein once we take it. Alright. Let's see what happens here. They lose attrition. They lose troops to attrition, but China celebrates the liberation of Canton. Loss of Canton reduces Japanese morale. Japan morale suffers from the loss of Tarawa. So they lost 2 national morale objectives this turn. We'll see how much that actually impacts them. We've lost a bunch, obviously, to this point in the war. They're going after the British sub. They at least drove it off the supply line. There's another carrier off the coast of China, which they're trying to use to, I guess, stifle our drive toward Hong Kong. They're also trying to bomb Moresby, presumably setting it up for another assault by the infantry there. Quite a few carriers in that area. They're moving some planes around in Burma. Man, they got a lot of troops here. Thinking. The AI is thinking. What are you thinking about? They actually moved a bunch of the air units in Burma, so I'm assuming they will not destroy the carrier this turn. They didn't even bomb it with that medium bomber. Hasn't it been 5 turns? Where are strategic bombers? Oh, they might be attacking out of Wuhan now. They've moved a marine unit in there. Probably not this turn, but... Northern China attacks is still ongoing here, trying to isolate individual units. The general lesson of the campaign so far is that they will do damage, they will inflict losses, but they will not inflict losses so great that the unit gets destroyed. That general lesson still seems to be observed. When is that tank going to suffer attrition and then we can destroy it? Can we take Hong Kong, maybe? That has a meaningful impact on their economy. Obviously, it's not Tokyo or Osaka or anything like that, but it isn't an insignificant city. Probably the most significant cities are the ones that are on the trade routes, I would guess. Because I think you shut the trade route down if you take it. Germany's defeated at Stalingrad, which helps Soviet morale, which doesn't matter yet because they're not in the war yet. Got some anti-aircraft guns in Burma now, by the looks of it. Okay. Prime Minister Winston Churchill is keen to see some victories won against Japan this year. He expressed his opinion that we should attempt a landing in Sumatra? Huh, okay, Churchill. Yeah, the British didn't do either of those in 43. They did launch an offensive aimed at Rangoon, I believe, out of Chittagong. It failed. Alright. Okay, I mean, I need more troops here. I'm sort of driving on Rangoon, sort of. We drove the air unit back, I guess. Can we? I don't have enough aviation probably to destroy it. I was just wondering if we can bombard this from here, but apparently we can't. Okay. So not much else is going to happen there this turn. We've taken Hong Kong back. Do-do-do-do. Alright, so Canton and Hong Kong have now both fallen to us. China has a port back. Hell yeah, brothers. We can advance up the coast towards Shantou and Fuzhou. Although there's a lot more. There's mechanized forces now here. So that's something to be worried about. We'll do some damage to him. Some attacks out of there. This guy's still not completely out of supplies yet. Okay. They've got level 2 infantry weapons there? No, thank you. So Japan now has level 2 infantry weapons. It's bad news. Let's try and push up the coast here from Pakoi, and maybe we can take Nanning and push into Indochina. It's a little bit fanciful, but... Also, China does have a new corps. Let's deploy that at this fortification here. The Akagi's there. Alright, so Kwajalein is ours. We will move. My headquarter can't unload quite yet, but it will be ours. It's ours. It'll take a few more turns for the port at Kwajalein or at Tarawa to fully reload, but that's another national morale objective in our pocket. Should be able to unload their next turn. We can put headquarters Kwajalein, which should help with overall supply in this area. So the Central Pacific strategy seems to be moving quickly. Got another Marine division on the way. Maybe we can go for any Weetalk? I'm guessing they've got something up that way. Yeah, they got a Marine. That one won't be as easy. They've got an actual Marine unit there. But Tarawa, Kwajalein, Roy Namur, Majuro, those are all in our hands now. We could go for Wake too, but we're getting close to the Marianas. That important island chain. Oops. God damn it. Oh, I hit the wrong button. No. Poor British sub. You're in trouble. You might lose a sub. Oh, I forgot about the American subs off the West Coast. Those really should be doing stuff, shouldn't they? Send them to sea, boys. The Airfish and Albacore. Marine fighter wings. I don't know if the airbase like means anything. Like, if that does that airfield do any? Does it influence anything for aviation units? But yeah, the fall of Hong Kong would be big news. Japanese morale has fallen to 103%, so very, very far. Still, it ain't nothing. I'd say this has been an important turn. We could go for a Guadalcanal counterattack, but the main Japanese fleet is in this area, which would complicate matters. We could try and bypass them entirely and move toward the Marianas, but again, there's a special forces or a marine unit here, which is going to make any Weetalk a much tougher nut to crack. I'm assuming Wake is also not unoccupied. But we should take Roy Namur next turn, and then we'll have this sort of island chain in here. We never lost Nehru, and we never lost Funafuti, so we'll have this whole sort of central section. And we might even be able to use it to, like, supply ships. I mean, these are, like, level 8 supplies, so these are not bad supply zones. These are things you can use. We can get land-based aviation put on some of these bases. give us some air cover or additional fighter cover if the Japanese do come knocking. I'd say this is a pretty consequential few turns here. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode of Strategic Command World War II, War in the Pacific. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.